What's up, guys? Everything Ninja back here with another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing the second qualifying episode of Season 13, so let's get into it. Alright, so this episode was all the ninjas from the Northwest area, all the ninjas who would have competed on, in Tacoma, Baltimore, in Season 11 and stuff like that. So, let's go over the course first. So, obviously, it started with the swinging steps, and then the second obstacle this time round was Wait For It, which we did see in the first episode of Season 12. It was so much easier than Overpass. Why would you have this cool new techie kind of hard new obstacle and then just go back to an old obstacle that's kind of really simple? But I mean, obviously Barclay and Nate Burkhalter, those people who failed on Overpass, they could have done this. I mean, come on. Anyway, not going to go into that too much. Then we had split decision between Broken Bridge and Burn Rubber, two obstacles that we have seen before who have taken out some big names. And then we had Tipping Point again, V Formation again, and then the Warp Walls. So, we started off the episode with John Bundy, the eye ninja, because I think he's an optometrist. I think that's the word for eye doctor. His wife has multiple sclerosis, just if you remember, Lance Pekus' wife does have that. And he made it pretty far through the course, and he got to Tipping Point. I believe he slipped off climbing up, or maybe he tilted it and slipped off climbing across. So, then we had the return of Janique Levette. This is her fourth season competing, but not consecutively because she missed season 11. She decided to go for Burn Rubber, which because she failed on it during the semifinals of season 12. I was very surprised about that because I guess you want to get revenge, but also I'd rather not take the risk. I might overthink it if I already fell on that, but she did actually end up completing this time. I don't know. I think it might have been easier because I think the wheels went instead of I think in season 12 they went bum bum they kind of went offset in an angle, but then this time they went offset in a zigzag, so that might have been easier just for footwork reasons. But maybe it was some difficulty. Maybe everybody just got better at tire spinning obstacles. She made it to a V formation where she just kind of gassed out on the cliffhanger ledge. She was listening to the first one. She got to it and then she was swinging and then she was losing her grip and then she just kind of fell back. But that was a really good run. It was kind of good to see her come back because actually, if you haven't noticed, the past few seasons, she's been in a curve of going down, down, down of the obstacle she fails. In season 9, she failed the warp wall twice. In season 10, she failed the 5th obstacle twice, the doorknob drop. And then season 12, she failed the 4th obstacle twice. It was the spinning bridge and then Burn Rubber, which was kind of funny, but at least she broke that streak and didn't fail the 3rd obstacle. That would have been sad. Then, an interesting fast forward, Derek Miyamoto, who, if you remember, completed the Los Angeles City Finals in season 10, he tripped on the broken bridge and hung on it for over 2 minutes. And he actually made some progress, and then he ended up falling, which is why make all that effort for nothing? No. But, yeah, that was unfortunate. He's had some pretty bad seasons recently. I think in season 11 he failed to spring forward. Then we had Julius Ferguson, who actually lived under a bridge for a few months, and a fellow ninja, Dan Champagne, helped him get off his feet and let him stay at his house, and then actually bought him a van to live in, which is really cool. And then he ended up on the last move of V formation, he just gassed out, which was very unfortunate. But obviously he's going to the semis because pretty much making it to the 5th obstacle right now, because these courses are getting so hard, guarantees you a spot in the semifinals. Then we had Dan Champagne, who obviously I just mentioned helped Julius Ferguson, and he ended up clearing the course, which was cool to see. I don't remember anything particularly interesting about his run. He just ended up completing the course. An interesting run, not necessarily someone who did super well, but Sarah Chang was a 4'10", which I think is the shortest competitor I've seen, or at least that they've shown on American Ninja Warrior, and she got the record for the shortest to clear an obstacle, which I'm guessing was held by Pauline Avila, who was 4'11" from last year, and then she actually ended up making it all the way to Tipping Point, Sarah Chang, and then she fell right at the beginning. Interesting. We had Josiah Papel, who, if you remember from American Ninja Warrior Jr., he really likes lizards. He has a bunch in his room, and he told a story about how he was a very shy kid, and Ninja kind of helped him come out of his shell. I think they used that. I don't know why I used that. Anyway, he just didn't really have any mistakes, anything to point out. He was just absolutely perfect throughout the entire course. He ended up clearing the course, so it was great to see the 4th teen of the season complete the course. And this was the 7th finisher of the season, the 4th team. Yeah, that's how it is, I guess. So we had 2 interesting fast forwards as well. True Becker and Olivia Colasona, 2 17-year-olds. True Becker ended up failing V formation, and Olivia Colasona tried to save it on Broken Bridge, but unfortunately failed. The earliest teen followed the entire season, and the only so far to not have qualified for the semifinals, which is pretty impressive. And then we had Riley Johnston, a 19-year-old competitor who watched her dad, Cody Johnson, compete in season 7 when she was apparently 12 years old. And now this year she was getting to compete with her dad. She made it all the way to tipping point, which was cool. Lance Pecos was next. He made it to V formation. I don't really remember if he had any like saves or anything like that, but he made it to V formation. And then when he tried to lâcher to the first one, he just like kind of fell. And then he hit his back really hard because that was a really high up fall. And he looked like out of it for a second. Like, I think that it got the wind knocked out of him. That was hard to watch, but he's going to semifinals, so that's what matters in the end. Then we had Caden Lebsack. If you remember, he got 2nd place on American Ninja Warrior Jr. Probably tied with Vance Walker for the best ninja in the world right now, honestly. Like, if I'm going to be honest. He was literally flawless throughout the entire course. Literally. Like, I just didn't know any mistakes. He just moved so smoothly. Like, the course was just child's play. Like, seriously, these kids, like, when they come onto the courses, like, they've never actually touched any, like, I mean, I guess they've been on American Ninja Warrior Jr., but they never actually touched any real American Ninja Warrior obstacles before, and they just feel completely at home on it. But anyway, yeah, he made it through the course, and he completed in 1 minute 49 seconds, which is actually the first sub 2 minute completion of the season. And we had Tiana Weberly, who I just don't really know what to say about it. I think she had like an Olympic guest on her side, but I'm sorry, I don't really remember who. She was on tipping point, and like honestly, when she made it to tipping point, I was like, oh, she has it from here. She can make it at least to V formation, and she was looking good at climbing up, right? And then she starts swinging, and then she like misses like her first try, like trying to reach, and then she can't reach. Which I'm like, how can you not reach that? She literally tilted it perfectly. She didn't tilt it too high or anything. It was literally perfect. And then she just like was trying to reach, and then she tried to lâcher, but then her hands were too far to the edge of the board, and she ended up falling, which was interesting. And I totally thought she wasn't gonna make it to the next round, but she ended up making it to the semifinals, which is good. Then we had Sophia LaValle in a fast forward, which they actually had already advertised her, so I thought they were going to show her run. She had a great save on Broken Bridge, kind of like dive rolled onto the platform, which was cool to see her. She, on American Ninja Warrior Junior Season 1, she lost her first race against Daniel Jones, and then she was up against him again in the final showdown, and she was behind kind of like the whole second half of the race, and then she booked it up the wall, and then actually hit the buzzer at 0.4 of a second before him, and everybody went crazy. I went crazy, I know for sure. She was like one of my favorite Ninja Warrior Juniors after that. She made it to tipping point as well, where she also failed. I think she also tried to lâcher. And then failed that. Or maybe she tried to reach and then slipped off. But she's also going to semifinals, which is awesome. And then we had Xavier Dantzler, who, his story was very interesting. He rides the subway in New York 2 hours each way to get to school. How can you survive off that? That's pretty insane. He gets up at like 4 a.m. And he trains with Joe Moravsky. He made it to V formation. I think he failed on... I think he tried to skip the second one like most people have failed doing, and then he ended up failing. And then we had Sandy Zimmerman, which she was so late in the broadcast, I'm like, okay, she has to finish, like, she has to be the first woman of the season to finish the course, because no woman has finished the course yet. Obviously, I mean, she's looking good, not going at a super fast pace, but not going at a super slow pace. And then she starts gassing out on V formation like every other person there. And then she tried to skip the handle again, not like we haven't already seen that, and then she slipped off. Why is everybody failing V formation? When I first saw it, I'm like, I honestly thought it wasn't that bad. I didn't think it was that bad, but a lot of people are failing, which is unfortunate. And I really hope next week, a woman can break through and complete the course, because it's really sad to see such a drought, because like all the women are like doing really well, making it into the top 30 and stuff like that. And then we had in the fast forward Kevin Brecky and Lucas Reale. Kevin Brecky designed Crank It Up, Lightning Bolt, Spin Hopper, and Cane Lane, which is really crazy, because those are some of like the best obstacles, in my opinion, there have been on American Ninja Warrior. And he ended up failing the Broken Bridge, but it was really cool to see him actually tackle the course. We had Lucas Reale also, who recently got engaged, and he completed the course. I mean, he's just like the teens are coming in, but he's staying in there. I mean, he's still young, but like he's still fresh. Like in his 4th season competing, he's doing pretty well. Then we had the final run of the night, Joe Moravsky. I'm like, okay, well, he has to do well. But then they did the insane thing that they did with Daniel. They gave him like not an actual story. They just had like, oh, he's only ever failed once to complete qualifying. He's like been the last man standing 2 times or something like that. He's made stage 3 4 times or something like 5. And then I was like, oh no, does he actually fall? Like, are they gonna do this to us again, make it the last run of the night fall? But no, he, of course, I mean, it's Joe, come on. I mean, we thought Daniel couldn't make mistakes, but Daniel made mistakes. But Joe was just absolutely perfect throughout the entire course. He went for the mega wall again, and I'm like, oh yes, please get up, please get up. You got up last season, you can get up again. And he did, he got it. The first mega wall clear of the season, and he got $10,000 with the 3rd fastest time of the night. So, that's awesome. Let's go through the leaderboard with who is moving on to the semifinals from this episode. So, we had the finishers, Caden Lebsack in 1 minute 49 seconds, Lucas Reale in 2 minutes and 2 seconds, Joe Moravsky in 2 minutes and 4 seconds, Josiah Papel in 2 minutes and 53 seconds, Anthony Porter in 3 minutes 1 second, Victor Chan in 3 minutes and 6 seconds, and Dan Champagne in 3 minutes and 43 seconds. And then we had all the V formation fails. Julius Ferguson, True Becker, Mike Beadle, Lance Pickus, Michael Larley, Cody Johnston, Ruben Arellano, Vincent Payne, Xavier Dantzler, Jason Grossman, Jonah Bonner, Janique Levet, Will Schlageter, DC Banks, Jose Gomez, Sandy Zimmerman, and Darren Perez. And then we had all the tipping point falls who made it into the semifinals. Francisco Barajas, Sophia Lavallee, Perry Madison, Brian Montagnisi, Brittany Durant, and Tiana Weberly. And yes, you heard that right, 5 women in the top 30. That's a whole 1/6 of the top 30, which I'm like, what? Honestly, that proves they don't even need the top 5 women anymore, because they've been doing so well, and I'm so proud of them. But yeah, that was awesome to see 5 women in the top 30 beating the previous record set by the Fantastic Four and the 4 women in Oklahoma City from season 11. Now, I had a lot of things to talk about in this episode. I had a lot of things to talk about after the leaderboard. So, first of all, why was tipping points so hard in this episode? In the last episode, I mean, a few people still fell on it, but it wasn't, like, super hard. But this one, like, the reach seemed like it was really hard, because a lot of people, like, decided to lâcher through the gap, and, like, 17 people fell on it this time, which I'm pretty sure last time only, like, 7 or 8 people fell on tipping point, which... Why? And then the second thing I was going to talk about was they actually made a really small deal of the 5 women in the top 30, considering that they made a huge deal out of the Fantastic Four, and by that I mean huge. Like, they never stop talking about it. They're always like, oh, this woman is a part of the Fantastic Four from Philadelphia in season 8. Like, they said one time, like, 5 women are in the top 30. It looks like the first time we're going to have this happen, and then they literally did not mention it one more time. They didn't even show the top 5 women, which is obviously because the top 5 women were in the top 30, but, like, seriously, make a huge deal about that. Like, that's pretty huge, considering that, like, the first 5 seasons of American Ninja Warrior, only 1 woman ever actually made the top 30. So, yeah. And also, what was I gonna... Oh, also, this was, like, really bugged me. I don't know if this bugged anybody else. I feel like this kind of will only bug people who actually train for Ninja Warrior. But, oh my gosh, it only happened a few times where people did this right. But every time someone would land on the bar and wait for it, it would just stop. Their momentum, like, they just land on it and, like, would not keep their legs forward or back or anything. They just stop. And they'd have to regain all their momentum. And that bothered me so much. Because, honestly, if I was on that obstacle and that happened to me, I'd be like, ugh. I hate this. That was really annoying to watch people do that. And then also, it was the second time straight that we've had a teen have the top time of the night. That's pretty insane. I mean, obviously nobody expected less. Like, everybody expected that they were gonna do well, but like not this well. Like, honestly, I think that's probably going to be the majority of like the stage 2, stage 3 competitors. I hope one of the teen girls can make it up the warp wall. That'd be especially awesome. And then the last thing I wanted to tell you is that they're having the Olympic trials next week. So the next episode is going to be on June 21st in 2 weeks. No, I know. It's going to be a long wait. No. But I'm sure the next episode will be worth the wait because in the promo they showed that Vance Walker is going to be in the next episode. So excited to see how he does. Also, I think I forgot to put a place right here for the run of the day and shock of the day. So here they are. For my run of the day, of course, I had to go with Caden Lebsack. Honestly, I think that course was like monkey bars for him. He was well deserving of that fastest time. I can't wait to see how he does in that next round. It just made the course look so easy, and yeah. There weren't many shocking fails that stood out to me in this episode, but I did get very surprised when Tiana Weberly fell because she looked very like strong, like she had a lot left in the tank, and then just kind of ran out of like reaching ability on that. I don't know. I mean, it was tilted right and everything, so yeah, that kind of surprised me when she ended up falling. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. Obviously, always, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and comment down below. I'll put a pinned comment asking you a question about this episode. So yeah, more reviews coming soon, and thank you guys for watching. Bye!